Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley reveals his prison nickname. Todd Chrisley saw a 12-year jail sentence cut short thanks to a presidential pardon. However, during his time in prison, he was still able to make an impression. During a recent conversation, the Chrisley Knows Best star shared his own prison nickname. Todd, who became known as the family patriarch on Chrisley Knows Best, found himself convicted of charges including bank fraud and tax evasion back in 2022. He and his wife Sheila were sentenced to a combined 19-year sentence. However, Todd and Sheila would receive a presidential pardon from Donald Trump this past May. Since then, the two have talked about their time behind bars with fans. Recently, Todd and Sheila appeared on their daughter Savannah Chrisley's podcast where they talked about their time in prison. While Todd only spent around 2 years at the federal prison camp in Pensacola, he still made an impression on those he met, including getting his own nickname. As Todd explained, he felt his mind was elsewhere during his time in prison. He shared, "I feel like I did a podcast for 28 months with all the people that were around me. They called me Teflon Todd." Teflon refers to a brand name for a coating product often used in cookware. In other words, Todd felt like he was still a free man in spite of his situation. He continued, "In my head, I was still free. I did not take up residence there. I was in prison, prison was not in me." As previously reported, Todd has maintained his innocence over the charges that led to his original conviction. On May 30, Todd touched on this when he appeared at a Nashville press conference alongside his daughter Savannah, who had also advocated for her parents during their time in prison. At the time, Todd shared, "I was convicted of something I did not do. It could be you, it could be any of you. And somewhere in this room someone has had a family member that has been affected by this system, so I understand the shame that's around it, but I refuse to feed into that because shame is like a cancer that just spreads. And I have no shame." Todd also continued to advocate for prisoners' rights. He shared, "So I will continue to fight for all the guys that I dealt with and that I was blessed to be with at FPC Pensacola. I will continue to expose the injustices that go on there and throughout the Department of and throughout the Bureau of Prisons." Did you listen to Todd and Sheila during their recent podcast appearance? Make sure you come back to TV Shows Ace for all the latest TV and celebrity news.